up to using them together in the correct instance, which makes me a little worried about seeing the Sombra from them, because Sombra's, yeah, you can EMP, but if the coordination's not there, all you really did is slow them down and give them a light bolt of electricity. You have to be able to follow through on an EMP to make it worthwhile.
Well, and to that point is that I would hope Rubicon's judgment, if he is going to be playing the Sombra, is better with his EMPs than it was with his Transcendences, because as you mentioned, for an EMP to get use, you have to have your team following up on it. You can't just, okay, guys, this is happening, because what will happen is that if the other team gets EMP'd but you're not immediately on top of them, they're just going to back out. They're not going to give you the opportunity to get the most out of that. And when you're playing Sombra, who really trades off outright combat power for the power and utility of an EMP, you can't have that happen.
So I think we probably will see Sombra on both sides. I would imagine it's going to be wait until 1, 2, 3. I do believe we have a couple of technical issues here, so we're just going to, you know, you get to enjoy our lovely faces again.
We were considering making it a 5v6, but no, we're going to go and wait for Tonic to reconnect. It looks like maybe he was having a bug or something like that. Either that or maybe he just doesn't know how to join games. No, I think that it's probably the former. But yeah, I mean, talking about the cohesion that is required to utilize Sombra, 1, 2, 3, they've been looking very strong. Now that said, Bazooka Puppiez at the very end started to come together. Only time will tell here. But I want to talk a little bit about another hero that we see commonly on this map, and that is Widow. And Kenzie utilized it fairly well in the last map. I want to talk about the difference between using it on first and second, because we see it a lot more on first. And we've seen a few teams playing with it on second, toying with it, maybe bringing it through for at least the first person on second. I know that somebody here plays quite a bit of Widow because he knows how to point and click very well. But what are your thoughts overall on Widow second here on Anubis?
Well, I mean, the key difference between first and second is that if you get a pick-off on first, it's a much bigger deal. It's a huge run back. If you get a pick-off on second, well, the person's going to be back in play much sooner. So what you give up in Widow in terms of presence on the point is made up for by your ability to get picks. The problem is that in the case of second is that when teams keep throwing bodies on the point, you need bodies on the point as well. It's not that a Widowmaker can't work on second, it's that what you get out of her is less proportionally effective compared to what you get on first, where once a person is gone, they're just gone for a million years.
I'd rather see McCree, and man, if only skins were available. There's a certain yellow skin that, man, that would be really nice to see, I think.
No, it wouldn't.
It's an amazing
But anyway,
skin.
well, I'll let you guys take it away here as we're back.
You know my theory on skins is that the goofier and sillier they are, the better. And I always go with that. I think like if you have like cool skins, you're trying too hard. It's a game, you know? Throwing some banana clothes.
Where does Power Ranger Genji hold in that?
That's pretty goofy.
Like, I feel like it's goofy enough that you're really not trying hard. Like, I'm not sure you take yourself seriously if you're in that.
Most of Genji's skins are kind of goofy. They're all anime based, and I find it amusing. Defensively, though, as you prophesized, we do have the Sombra. That is Rubicon, who had an interesting set of games as the Zenyatta. So we'll see if he can translate that into something else. Of course, I think most teams have decided they're putting supports on the Sombra instead of DPS nowadays.
And this is a really quick strike coming out here from 1, 2, 3. Absolutely no chill in this offense whatsoever. But is it going to pay off? They're getting poked down heavily from all sides. They don't have a lot of health, and yet they're still pushing this in their favor as half their team was at like 50 HP. This is a really gutsy attack from 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure it's going to pay off, but I think they've done enough damage to keep the war of attrition going forward.
Yeah, they get the trades there towards the end that they need, and it should be enough for their defense to at least stabilize. Rubicon comes in on the cleanup kills. He is so good at that, and a nice hack onto Tracer. Beautiful boop there. Underrated boop right there. Kept him alive. Denia gets in there and keeps mistakes in this fight.
You don't even see Sombras go for hacks like that often because they're so difficult to pull off, but Rubicon picks the right moment. Here's the problem, they're on the point. No one is contesting the point here because I think Bazooka Puppiez is just trying to regroup. That's where respawn times really hurt, where even though they won that fight, respawns for 1, 2, 3 came in quickly. There's the EMP from Rubicon, and he used it to immediately take down Bach. A 1-for-1 trade, but I don't know if it's enough. You didn't get much of 1, 2, 3 there, and Sombra's not a solo hero. You need to use that in combination with your team, and just using the EMP for one, I don't think it was good.
My MVP of this early fight is actually Dinia right there. The boop to save his Tracer was crucial. That's how they got a lot of time on the point early on. Mistakes was there. He was able to kill Sombra after the fact too, which means Rubicon's not charging his EMP, not going to have much going for the next fight. Going for the next fight, they're going to have some beautiful opening ults if they can finally get there, and they will. Transcend, self-destruct, tactical visor all ready, and they have a huge window right now, and they know it.
Indeed, and one thing I know about that last fight, Rubicon was way ahead of his team when he did that EMP. So he got a kill, but at what cost? As 1-2-3 swarming in like an angry high tide right now. The Transcendence is out. They are dominating in and on top of the point. Everyone is healthy, and every kill is going their way. Bazooka Puppiez, no resources to deal with that really strong engagement.
It was going to have to be Kenzie with a pulse bomb. They're already at 2 ticks and counting, climbing up. Still self-destruct available. They will also probably get Sound Bearer sometime in this fight. It has been all 1-2-3 here on Assault, and the Sombra impact has been minimal.
Indeed, and now for Bazooka Puppiez, the question is, how are they going to bring this one back? They need a hero play. Kenzie, of course, was that hero back on Watchpoint Gibraltar, but not able to delay. A blisteringly fast time being set by 1-2-3. And I kind of feel like some of our concerns about the Bazooka Puppiez running a Sombra-based defense here kind of came to fruition here, Hex.
Oh, you don't have to toe around it. We were totally right. That was awful. It was a terrible Sombra defense. They had no coordination there. Rubicon was playing completely away from his team. Probably should have held a lot of those things. The early EMP, I guess, was okay. He got Zenyatta there, but really just none of it worked out. That's not how you want your Sombra defense to go.
So, I mean, my analysis there is that, yes, he had a good fall through on a Zenyatta in the sense that he dropped the EMP and immediately killed him, but the rest of his team was still coming right in. Why not wait a moment, wait for Zen to be in line of sight, and then still get the same kill in Zenyatta while EMPing the rest of your team, with the 8 of your team?
If you EMP one person, that's a failed EMP. I don't really care who it is. Zenyatta will die anyway. You could hack a Zenyatta and get him down to 50 health. Did you need to use EMP? EMP is effective because it's a huge area of effect. To use it on one person, and the place he used it in, it just came from, I don't know. Nothing, I didn't like any of it. Let's leave it at that. I did not like any of that. We'll see if Bach has a better turn on it as he is queued up on the defensive Sombra for 1-2-3.
One thing I'll note here, too, that I think has really hurt Bazooka Puppiez, where even though they were able to get Gibraltar, is that with the exception of Kenzie just losing his mind and playing just super, super well, I feel like 1-2-3 has been matching Bazooka Puppiez point for point on mechanical play, very likely doing better on mechanical play, but then they've also just had better ult usage here so far. And over time, that catches up to you, even if you do pull out a miracle victory here and there.
As I mentioned in Oasis, you can't have consistent results with how Bazooka Puppiez is playing. You can't rely on getting 3 kills every self-destruct. You can't rely on enormous blades. At some point, fundamentals have to be there, and 1-2-3 has had better fundamental play.
Well, one thing that we did expect coming in here is that Kenzie will be on that Widowmaker again, and already this makes things rough for 1-2-3 because a lot of teams don't deal with Widowmakers well here in the back. Not only does the Widowmaker have a big threat of landing shots, but it also can pull your front line out, and Kenzie going for more of a battle Widow here, Hex.
Yeah, an interesting angle here, but I think this is a response to where teams have been setting up on the defensive Sombra. They know they're all going to be congregating around Mega, so hopefully just getting a little sneak peek up left and right. And honestly, they can just go on the point. The problem is you become a shooting gallery below. A nice kill early on, 2 already down for 1-2-3.
And look at where Kenzie is forced into play, where normally they can play in the point and be all around. They're all hiding in the upper corner and all getting hunted down. Bazooka Puppiez turning this into a party room of death, and that is going to be an incredibly quick take of point A.
Completely over. Ube is actually just going to go on to second point right now and just start to get the action going. The one saving grace is that Bach did end up getting an EMP. They will have it for this fight on the last.
So people are wondering when you use Widow on second. Kenzie has no reason to swap here right now. They're going to try and keep the momentum, go in as quick as possible, but this is where Bach can really ruin their day, where he has the EMP up and Lucio goes down immediately. Now the pressure is really on Bach to land a good EMP.
Yeah, he's going to think about it twice and probably should have been out there. The blade is going to come out. Ice Block going to stall that out. Wow, little gutsy play there. We do get 1 kill, so we need to start seeing. Bach dies, though, after the EMP and no follow-through.
No follow-through indeed. That was really smart by Snill. Snillo. He baited back Ube for even longer by just giving him the possibility that kill is possible. But now it's desperation time in terms of delaying. He has to throw his Mei body onto the point, ice blocks in,
Good
and
stall.
yet they're starting to pull him back.
Good stall. Widow's still up here trying to get something going, but he's going to get pushed out too. And the stall from the Widow was, or the Mei, sorry, it could not be two different heroes. Absolutely crucial. Able to clutch it out, get the kills they need, and they're going to stall this out, and they will probably have a better time than Bazooka Puppies.
I do think that extra 3 seconds or so that he got for Ube, because what he did is he walked forward a little bit, and Ube thought, maybe I can land this next blade shot.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite enough. He just gets back enough in spawn, and while Ube's in the back playing with Mei, Ube's not in the front getting dash resets to make that fight more decisive.
Totally jamated. Bach is going to come in here 95%. We'll have EMP up for the next fight, and EMP up for nearly every fight. They should know it. They're going to come in with sound barrier, and erased is that sound barrier with the EMP.
Bazooka Puppies not letting go of the gas pedal though. Transcendence in, and it's not bad. It gives him an early opening, but here comes a self-destruct onto the point. Not gonna quite get what you want there, but 1, 2, 3, they've done enough here so far, Hex. They got 2 kills into the back. They were both supports, so there's nothing left to fuel this Bazooka Puppy push, no matter how much Ube wants to impress us with dash resets. And apparently in Blade, this is questionable. I mean, yes, they've gotten kills, but they don't have supports anymore, Hex.
I think he wants to force out ults, and that's exactly what he does. He makes sure that the Blizzard does come out, and the ults will come in after the fact. I think you maybe trade Blade for Blizzard to make them use it. Blizzard can be so brutal on the point there, and Blade, he's been getting up rather quickly, so there's a lot of different ways to say it. It's also just a very Ube Blade, right? I mean,
I feel mildly convinced by the reasoning there. If he knew that the Mei would be forced to drop the Blizzard, it's more just the idea that you've lost both supports. How perfectly are you going to have to play to bring that one back, even in the best of scenarios?
Looking for answers, they switch over to Zarya. What do you think this is in response to, ZP?
Zarya coming out here, it's hard to say. I mean, I think it could just be to give them a decisive fight with the Graviton coming in. I mean, I don't know. You're going to see if the Zarya works out.
It's burning down their Diva as well, so maybe that'll give them a little bit more space to operate, as Zarya is a good counter. EMP comes in. Down goes Mete, down goes Ube, down goes Meza. That fight is over.
That was really rhythmic, and how you were saying that.
I know.
Down goes this, down goes
I was
that.
channeling my inner Cosell. Down goes Frazier. Classic call. Yeah, it's just 71% now on the EMP again. They have not found a great window to push in and be able to get this when EMP is not up. They're gonna, I mean, here it is, it's a small one, but another pack should be able to get, yeah, the Kodak just got a pack, and now Box gonna have EMP again.
This is a very tough fight for Bazooka Puppies. Right now, they just have to hope to drain out ultimates, drain out an EMP, and make their next fight a little bit better, because if, barring that, they would need to get a pick-off really quickly in this fight to set the 6v5, but they're really spread out here. They're not coming in at the same time. They're all around this early point of Anubis, and they're lucky not to have suffered any deaths here, as 3 people are super low, and Snillo brings the cold right to the back line. That should spell the end of this fight. And hey, Snillo showing us that he's not just good on the Soldier, coming out with some pretty good Mei play as well.
You didn't even have to use EMP there. I mean, they're going to have an EMP up for the next fight. And you know what EMP replaced, which used to be up every fight on Assault, is Blizzard. And they're going to have both of them and a sound barrier. It is a rough go for Puppies here. Maybe use just Blade and try to force something out of them. A quasi-junk rush if you can.
Here's a trap here for Puppies, is that they're going to use ultimates in this fight. I don't have any faith that they're going to have a lot of restraint, and they're going to be going into 2 of the most shut-down ultimates in the game in Blizzard and EMP. So they're opening up here at the Transcendence. Bach able to heal up. The EMP should be coming in soon. 1, 2, 3 solidifies with the sound barrier, and now they're trying to push the Puppies back. Now, it isn't quite as great for 1, 2, 3 as you might think, and in fact, Puppies, they pull them into the room and they take down 3. This is somewhat of a disaster for 1, 2, 3 because they have not EMP'd here yet.
Bach died early in that last fight while the Blizzard was going on. He's going to come on EMP now, but they don't have the bodies up for the cleanup. Look at this, EMP and 0 kills right afterwards. That is brutal. Mistakes tries to come in, does not find what he is looking for. Still stalling out 2 ticks now. Progress is permanent on the point. Can they bring this back?
Well, 1, 2, 3 has put themselves in a terrible position, and part of it just came from the fact that Bach was not ready to EMP. Bazooka Puppies baited them into the room, slaughtered them 1 by 1, and now they're just a little bit away from extending this Temple of Anubis game. They just need a bit more here, Hex.
Well, the stall will come out. They've got some good stall characters out here. It is Tracer, Sombra, and Mei all on the point, and they've just been annoying in this Gillfrost, triple harassment, mistakes goes down, Skilla goes down, but that buys time for the Sound Barrier to come in. If they want to pull this back, you have to start getting kills. They've got none. Another EMP up, though, and will use.
Bazooka Puppiez for now. They're keeping on the pressure, but it's very good delay coming out here from 1, 2, 3. They're not really on the verge of pulling this back at all. They need to at least get one kill first. And I think if they're not able to get a kill in the next few moments here, Hex, that will be it. But the May delay comes in, and is that going to be enough? It's hard to say. They haven't been able to put down any more progress as 1, 2, 3 is still filtering in, but finally, Bazooka Puppiez able to thread the needle and capture out here on Temple of Anubis. Still very much at a time deficit, but they were able to find their way, and a lot of that, A, I think it was a good engage to go into the side, but B is that Bach wasn't where he needed to be, and when you're dropping your EMP after your entire team is dead because you got picked off, you've had a bad fight as Sombra.
It's been underwhelming Sombra play. I mean, it's not been the high-level hacking that, the NSA looks after. This is more like, I don't know, what do they call it? Script kiddies? This has been script kitty Sombra so far. Not been great from either side. I like the switch on Azaria, though, because I think even if you're just looking at it in the most simplest terms, another great solo hero that every team is running is a Diva, and Zarya can just blast her down. Graviton, I think, is a great ult, though that Graviton that we saw was not a great Graviton. But I think it's a good switch up there, and you want to switch up into it with a couple of minutes left to ensure that you'll at least get one grab. So I just like to see Zarya back in the game. She's been a little bit AFK lately.
I don't think Zarya has ever been bad. I think there's times where teams get away from running her, but in the end, she has an incredibly powerful kit. Still, very arguably the most impactful ultimate in the game. So, yeah, I will note one thing is that maybe part of the reason why you're seeing a little bit less Zarya, though, is that Transcendence is one of the few things in the game with not backed up by a Bionade or prevented by a Bionade can really ruin a Graviton Surge to begin with.
That's entirely true. So counters on counters and counters. One thing will always impact the rest of the game. This time, Bach still on the Sombra on defense here as, how much time we have on the clock? A little over 50 seconds for Bazooka Puppy. So the stall out was hugely impactful for 1, 2, 3.
So 1, 2, 3, we'll see how quick they are able to deal with this offense here. They're just holding back, and Bazooka Puppiez, they need to make a move here moving in. And Kenzie, he's applying the pressure with Widow. He's forcing 1, 2, 3 into a rough defensive spot, and he gets his man. Snillow's going to go down to that early pickoff, and Ube diving relentlessly into the back. 1, 2, 3's defense here on first. Didn't look good the first time. Definitely doesn't look good the second time.
Does not. Snillow already, it seems like they just conceded that early. Kenzie's positioning there is so good, though. It puts them up in the room. You can't sit up there because you have to fight on the point. Then when they filter out into the room, they get completely knocked, and now just already pointing out, already going to second.
This is smart because they're leaving Clanton in the back and letting everyone else go to the front and go for earlier kills. I like how Bazooka Puppiez is playing this. It lets them keep on the pressure even as Lucio is back there. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the early pick they were looking for. I think if they'd gotten even just one pick from Kenzie, they would have gone in immediately. But now Hex, we'll see where this goes. They're down to their final 15 seconds.
We enter the ultimate phase here as EMP comes down from Bach. Where is the cleanup from his team? They get one, Mete is down, and a self-destruct over the top. That is 2 kills. Kenzie's still alive, but that is not enough for them to be able to take the point.
Dragonblade comes out from Ube, gets 2, looking for more, and have they pulled themselves out of the fire here? They've lost a lot of people, Hex, but Ube's blade gives them the hope that they might be able to make something out of nothing. They already got a tick, so that's already pretty good here. Yeah, it's not bad. That gives them an out to win this in extra rounds, even if they're not able to keep up the pressure here. And they're bleeding out enough that it's going to be really difficult to get the idea that they would somehow bring this back, and 1, 2, 3 just able to flood in and reestablish control.
Kenzie had to get on the point, not exactly where you want your Widow in SMG mode there, but as you mentioned, I think that second tick they got is purely off the back of Ube's blade and then Kenzie's pressure over the top. It's interesting that the lead into this, we talked about Widow on second, because you just don't see it very often. I don't think it's very good. I mean, you could make a case for it, but in the instances we've seen them run it is because about to have ult up and you're in a position where you can't switch anyway.
I think keeping the Widow for your first, second push is totally fine if you're coming in with lots of momentum. I think that teams actually hurt themselves when they switch off and they delay how quickly they can get back in the second because they're waiting for the switch. I think they did well in terms of getting up there quickly, because if he had gotten one pick off there, even just one, that might have been a taken point with how aggressively they were playing it.
And they're playing well with it. I saw a team playing earlier today that I will not name that they were running a Widow, then they decided to fight in a room. if you're running a Widow, don't fight in a room. She can't do anything to help. And, you know, you see it in ladder games all the time is, why isn't this Widow doing anything? Just fight where I can help you. Fight where I can see.
Are you against the school of Battle Widow where you just try and snipe people point blank range?
She is surprisingly strong at short range.
How many times has Battle Widow killed you, Hex? Like, let's turn this on its head. Are you just trying to avoid personal embarrassment at this point?
I don't think anything I've done in my entire career has been to avoid embarrassment. I mean, look at this.
I mean, you're casting with me this entire time, so yes, I do agree.
Well, Rubicon, speaking of avoiding embarrassment, looking to have a better second life onto the Sombra here. It has been not great for either side, and 5:06 on the clock for 1-2-3, so plenty of time to work with, and need some solid holds from Bazooka early on.
So plenty of time here for 1-2-3. They don't have to be too crazy here on this push. And right now, Hex, they're just looking to go right up the gut. Not a whole lot of subtlety to this push, but also so far not as effective as they would have liked. Look at that, Ube falls.
So close. He was so close. I don't think he thought he was going to get chased. D.Va is always chasing you is how I operate against D.Va. She will always hunt you down. A couple of quick kills here, boding very well. And that's... Sombra is going to have EMP up, but I think it's smart for Rubicon to not use it there. This fight's been over.
1-2-3 just played that slow and steady, and Bazooka Puppiez presented opportunities to them to give them early pickoffs, and they took them. Now, they're going to have nearly 5 minutes to come in the last. The one difference from the previous push, though, is that Rubicon does have an EMP up for second this time. And if he can just dial it back a little bit, Hex, look for the big team EMPs, I think Bazooka Puppiez will have a much easier time.
Mistake's going to come in here, try to get a pulse bomb. Already losing Bach. Mistakes might just back out slowly and decide this is not the time to fight because they're already going in without a support. It is definitely not the time to fight. And even though pulse bomb is pulse bomb and you can get it back, I think they should save everything here.
You have to. You lost people early on to the EMP. It is a fight that is not going to go your way. And oh no, we have D.Va stall in progress. Kodak wishing for sweet death. Instead, he has a fan club after him. And finally, they're going to take him out after a good deal of staggering. So not bad from Bazooka Puppiez to give themselves some breathing room and dial down the time on the clock just a little bit.
I burned about a minute, and the good thing is that fight went on so long, and a lot of people took a little chip damage that Rubicon's going to have EMP again. Ube will have Blade, and that ends the fight again. They have to wait. They cannot go in without Snillo.
I'm not really sure why Snillo was that far out to begin with. The rest of his team was way behind him. I guess trying to get a little bit poking and build his tac visor, which he was very close to, but it came at a cost, which is that he gave Kenzie a great opportunity. So Hex, now 1-2-3, their path forward, not anywhere near as secure because Rubicon will have EMP up again.
Right, they're going to have all 6, though. I think teams have not learned. Wow, that is a beautiful entry kill. Hold the phone as Bach takes down Ube right away. EMP comes in, and the self-destruct tries to find over the top. That fight's over.
They were able to pull Ube out of the fire there. That was terrible that he got picked off that early, but with a good EMP followed up by the self-destruct, they were able to turn that fight right back to their advantage. So Ube gets away with one there, and Bazooka Puppiez still holding remarkably strong.
That is good for 1-2-3. This is their window now. Yeah. You only can go in after an EMP and a quick EMP fight so that you know that the other team won't have it. And they saved most of their ultimates here, both support ults.
Soundbear going to be coming in from both teams. And no, Clanton only barriers himself. Clanton, where were you? You can't have that happen. 1-2-3, taking advantage of the situation, getting right deep onto the point. EMP comes up in the middle of it. Maybe it's going to be enough. They haven't gotten a kill yet, but here comes the blade from Ube, looking to clean up the back line. And again, Bazooka Puppiez gonna get away with what could have been just an ugly push against them.
But important to note, they did get the marker of 33%. So it's only going to revert a little bit, means the next couple of pushes only have to get a few percentage points here.
Yeah, and for a second, it looked like they didn't get it, but yes, they did get that. So a bit of a mulligan there has gone away from Bazooka Puppiez, and man, I just don't know where Clanton was for that barrier, but you can't have that happen as a Lucio.
The support ults have been questionable at best from Bazooka Puppiez.
You can't get your music DMCA'd, you have to share it with the people, Hex. But look at this, Mistakes, a beautiful pickoff coming in, finds Meza immediately, and 1-2-3 applying the pressure quickly. Bazooka Puppiez has no room for error, and yet they are getting thrown off the point with ease. This is looking like it might be 1-2-3's map. They only need a little bit more, Hex.
Rubicon hiding in the corner, trying to stall it out just a little bit. Are you saying that Clan's the type of guy who doesn't seed his torrents?
No. He's the type of guy who just clicks never share, as evidenced by that team fight before the last.
Well, Bazooka Puppiez will fall again to 1-2-3, who is now up 2-1 in the set. Some sloppy Sombra play that both teams will need to work on if they continue to go forward. Neither side covered themselves in hacker glory right there. The Hack the Planet is safe. Neither looking elite. And Snillo is going to get a May play of the game.
I don't think we've seen a May play the game in a really long time.
I mean, all right. That's a nice click, right? You know how I like getting hit by icicles from far away as I'm playing Tracer. I like getting a headshot by May as she's just spamming through doorways. That's awesome.
I mean, we do live in the Midwest, Hex. We have icicles flown at us pretty much all throughout the winter.
Yeah, they can actually kill people. You have to be super careful when you're walking outside. Honestly, people die from icicles in the Midwest.
It is scary because sometimes when I look at my house and I just see like this incredibly long dangling icicle that's basically the size of a sword. It's just like, I'm not gonna walk under that.
Yeah, I just run. I just run and hope.
See, it's like my Russian roulette of the Midwest. It's like you walk under it with confidence. Okay, you got to believe. Well, talking about believing, 1-2-3 believed, and now they're up 2-1 here in the series, coming out of Anubis, and it was very close, and you could see when both teams were starting to come online how much closer it got, because map 1 was a little bit one-sided, but we need to talk about Sombra just a little bit. We've talked about it quite a bit, but I want to put the final nail in the coffin. Is this the pinnacle of Sombra play?
No.
And there it is already. Everyone go home. No, but yeah, it was a good start for some of these teams, and we had mentioned before we haven't seen them play it a lot. They're very new rosters, and there's some positional mistakes in addition to ult usage. It's been going up and down for both of these teams. A very volatile matchup.
The dangerous thing for both of these teams is no matter who moves on from this side of the bracket, the other side of the bracket is United and